Hey guys, good evening, Sat Shri Akal, Namaste, Salaam Alaikum. If you're just joining in, please type in your name. If you're just joining in, please type in your name, type in which city you're connecting from. Good evening to each and every one of you. Today I'm live today on two channels. I'm live on Facebook as well as I'm live on Instagram. So this is the very first time that I'm trying to go live. Not trying to go live, actually I am live on both of these channels, Facebook and Instagram. So good evening to all of you. If you're there on this live session, please go ahead. Let me know where you're joining from. Let me know who you are. Let me know which part of the world you're connecting from. Let me know your name. Let me know which part of the world you're connecting from. If you're there on Instagram right now, on my page, or if you're there on Facebook, either ways, just mention your name, mention which part of the world you're connecting from. So Anita Postwala. Anita, welcome Anita. Mention your city, mention which part of the world you're connecting from. Welcome Harvinder. Welcome Harvinder, fantastic. Lovely to have you Harvinder today on this live session. Today's live session is first of all an open-ended live session, which means I don't have an agenda today. And in fact, the agenda has to come from you guys. You guys have to ask questions on any questions on mindset, on health, on money, on relationship. And I'm going to do my best to be able to answer those questions. So I don't have an agenda. In last few sessions, I always came up with my agenda for me to be able to help you with practical steps and practical methodologies to be able to go forward with respect to the subjects that we covered. But this time it is something that you have to ask. You have to ask all the questions. So I'm very excited to be able to answer all of your questions. I received a few questions on my email ID as well. So I'm gonna do my best first of all to answer those questions. But if you have a question today on mindset, on health, on money, on relationship, I think you should ask this. I think you should go ahead and do not have any reservations, any hesitations. You must go ahead and ask any question that you may have in mind. So I'm gonna start taking questions, but before that, I just have a surprise for all of you. I want to introduce you to my cat, to my lovely little cat. His name is Angel. If you can see my cat, his name is Angel. He's trying to bite me. So I wanted to have Angel today on this live Q&A session with me. The reason being, whenever I do my sessions, be it live sessions, be it webinars. Today I did a webinar in the morning, and whenever I'm doing any live session, any webinar, any kind of online workshop, I always have this gentleman sitting at the back. So everybody else is out of my room, even my partner. But this little gentleman is always at the back because he likes to stay with me all the time. So I thought, let me just take him to the live session today and let me not keep him at the back. Let me have him in the front. So his name is Angel, and he's my cute little kid. I'm his dad actually. So yeah, I just wanted to introduce you to him as well. So anyways, we're gonna start answering questions. So if you have any question, please go ahead and ask me a question. I am here to answer all of your questions. Lovely to have all of you guys. Lovely Saurabh, lovely to have you Saurabh. Harmeet Singh Bawa, Uday, Shri Padesh Pandey. So this is from Instagram, Dilwinder Singh. Welcome all of you guys. So let me see who all are there from on Facebook. Harvinder Singh from Chandigarh. Anita. Welcome all of you guys. Welcome all of you. Welcome Siddharth. So welcome all of you guys. I'm getting a first question from Harvinder. Harvinder, actually you are my existing client as well. So people who do not know, Harvinder is my existing client as well. So Harvinder is asking a question, how to overcome fear of failure. So let's start. How to overcome fear of failure. Now, I have answered these questions in various capacities, at various forums, at various places. I'm going to give you two answers, how to overcome fear of failure. One answer is actually a real answer. According to me, that's a real answer. But I'm going to give that answer later on. It's a real answer according to me. But right now, I'm going to give you a short answer, which according to me is again real, but not to an extent that the other answer that I'm going to give you. Because I really believe, which I'm going to tell you something which most people would not believe regards to fear in their life, but I still am going to stay that point. I'm still going to answer how to overcome fear of failure in a real way. And that is what is true, which might not go with most people. So I will answer that later on, but let me answer in a short way, how to overcome fear of failure. See, whenever you have any kind of fear in your lives, we might have fear of, let's say, of heights. We don't want to actually take a bungee jump, take a skydive because we fear heights. We fear applying for a certain job, which we might think we might get rejected. We fear starting a business because we might feel that, you know what if I fail? We have all kinds of fear. We have fears in a relationship. We have fears if we try something, if we initiate this, maybe I will not succeed, maybe I will fail. So how to overcome this fear of failure? The simple answer to that is take an action. Take a smallest immediate action, because once you take a smallest immediate action, it allows you to create a certain kind of a confidence, and then you realize that, you know what? This was there in my mind. It was actually not existing in reality. In fact, all the fears, I'm not saying most of the fears, all the fears actually does not exist in the real world, does not exist in the practical world. But because we have been conditioned by the society so much, because we have heard the statements like, you know what, I'm a human being. If I'm a human being, I'm supposed to have all kinds of emotions. And fear is also a very prevalent emotion as a human being. In fact, I also used to believe this way, that a lot of people also says this. A lot of celebrities, a lot of successful people out there says this, that you know what, fear drives me. Fear makes me do stuff. No. I'm going to give you a long answer, but fear does not drive you. And I'm going to give you a justification for that. Essentially, for you to overcome any kind of a fear of failure, you have to take a smallest action. Because once you take a smallest action, it allows you to see that, you know what, this actually was not existing in the real world. It's just that I was not taking an action. If you take an action, let's say you fear speaking to somebody today. You fear, I don't know how this person is going to perceive what I need to say, or how this person is going to take what I need to say. If you just go ahead and say it, with taking a smallest bit of action, once you take an action, it reduces your uncertainty on yourself. That, you know what, I could actually do it, but it's just that my mind was overtaking me, my mind was trying to dominate me for me to not take an action. So the short answer is, for you to overcome any kind of a fear in life, fear of failure, fear of any kind, you got to take a smallest action. Has it not happened? Maybe there was a time, I'll tell you from my life, there was a time that I used to fear taking a dip in the water, in a swimming pool, when it is deep, when it was like 6 feet, 8 feet. But then one day I did, and I kind of survived. One day I went into this 8 feet deep pool, and I kind of survived. My fear went away because I took a smallest action. The more you think, listen to this is where overthinking comes. So everything kind of is correlated. The more you think, the more your mind is going to convince you to not take an action. So for you to be able to overcome any kind of fear in your life, especially fear of failures, you got to take a smallest action. I'm not saying do everything, but I'm saying take smallest of action, because once you take smallest of action, it increases your confidence on yourself that, you know what, I can do it. Now let me come to the real answer, which is actually a spiritual answer as well. And spiritual answer, why am I saying spiritual answer is the real answer? First of all, even I was not introduced to spirituality 2 years back. I was also not a person who had any idea about spirituality. My partner introduced me to spirituality, and spirituality is not just to have calm or peace, or not even close to that. Spirituality has a different mechanism altogether in our lives. When I got into spirituality, I realized that, you know what, all kind of fears, first of all, are non-existent in the real world. They're non-existent, which means the only reason all of our fear exists because we create it in our mind. We create it. Ask yourself a very pertinent question. Ask yourself this question: how many times out of 100, your fears have actually come true in the real world, in your practical life? You will realize that most of the fears never come true. Why? Because they actually do not exist. But we create it in our mind. For example, there was a time that I never used to feel that I could speak in front of people. And this was even during my MBA days, okay, which was 12 years back. I never wanted to face people. I never wanted to be the center of attraction or be in the limelight. Today, since last 5+ years, I have been teaching people, I have been coaching people. And in fact, there was a fear in my life at one point of time that I could never speak to women in my life. I had a big fear that I could never speak to women, because I created this fear in my mind because I never spoke to them in the real world. I never spoke to them in my teenage age. So I had this big fear: if I speak to a woman, I don't know how they are going to perceive me, whether I'm going to get embarrassed or something. One day in my MBA days, I just went ahead and spoke to one girl. As soon as I took an action, it allowed me to really feel that, you know what, this fear was just existing in my mind. It was not the real fear. So the spiritual answer to that is, all of our fears actually does not exist in a real world. Whether you like it or you do not, whether you believe it or you do not. Most people will not believe it, because there is so much of conditioning which has happened in our lives right from the childhood, where we have listened, where we have seen motivational videos, where we have gone through a lot of YouTube videos, a lot of books, a lot of successful speakers, a lot of successful rich people saying that fear is a part of a human life. Fear is a part of a human life. And many of this, with all due respect, many of these philosophies have actually come, with all due respect, have actually come from the Western world. if you understand your Indian ancient culture, spirituality has always existed here. I'm sure you are aware of that. And in our Indian ancient culture, there was nothing called as fear in most people, because most people at one point of time in our India, in this land, were actually spiritually inclined in one way or the other. In fact, there was a point that many people had a spiritual guru, and I'm talking about thousands of years back. But later on, because of invasion, because of the way globalized world got connected, a lot of philosophies came from Western world. Nothing against Western world, but a lot of these philosophies have become an ingrained part of our society. Today, there are so many youngsters out there, there are so many business people out there who are idolizing people from outside. Oh, you know what? I idolize this person, I idolize that person. He is the person who is great in stock market from outside. He is the person who is great in business. He is the person who is great in this. But we don't recognize our Indian people. We don't recognize, because that's a tendency. Again, it's a part of conditioning. Everything which is Western, everything which is foreign is great. Now I'm moving away from an answer, but the reason it was important for me to talk about this part, because a lot of these philosophies have come from the Western world, that fear is a part of our human life. Fear is not part of being a human. All of our fears actually exist in the mind. Now, I am aware that many people will not believe it, because for anybody to actually believe something, they need to have some sort of experience. So I'm not expecting you to be able to believe me. You don't have to believe me. Just because I'm saying it, you don't have to believe me. So take a short answer. Short answer is, for you to overcome any kind of a fear, any kind of a fear of failure, take a smallest action, because it increases your confidence on yourself to be able to actually do it again and again and again. So Harvinder, I hope I have answered your question. It was a bit of a long answer, but I hope I have answered your question. If yes, mention yes in the chat box. Harvinder is saying hello, Angel. Thank you so much. Anita is asking, so I'm going to come to all the questions one by one. Anita is asking, suggest something for women like me who left their jobs for family, now want to do something online which help them to be positive and sure money earning source. So Anita, what your question is, let me just rephrase your question. Anita is trying to ask this question. I've left my job for me to build a family, for me to become a responsible, maybe a wife, maybe a mother, maybe a bahu, a daughter-in-law. But today I want to do something online. See, first of all, you can do anything today, especially in this digital world. In fact, I'm going to introduce next year one program that I've thought of, which is anybody today, if they want to start something online as a business, I'm going to create a program where you are going to be able to take your skill, to take something which you have as an expertise today and monetize it in the real world. Now, a lot of people are not even aware as to how do you take a skill and how do you monetize. First of all, most people are not even aware that you have a skill. So for you to make money online today, Anita, there are lots of ways. In fact, there is affiliate marketing, where you can actually sell products and services of different companies. That is called affiliate marketing. There is drop shipping. There is e-commerce. There is Amazon and Flipkart, where you can actually sell products and do shifting. That is called drop shipping again. There are online courses that you can design for you to be able to do that. But for you to learn affiliate marketing, for you to learn e-commerce, for you to learn drop shipping, for you to learn how to create an online course and sell it, monetize it, some way you need somebody's help, or some way you need to work really hard for you to know how do you actually do it. You can make money through blogging. If you are a writer, you can make money through blogging. But all of this takes time, Anita. It takes time. Nothing comes easily, okay? If you are a person today who have got certain skills, let's say in digital marketing, you can become a freelancer. I know people, there are people out there that today they are making money, even though they are working in a job, but still they are making money by freelancing a lot of digital marketing skills. People, if they know SEO, they are making money out of SEO. So there are various websites where you can enroll, like Fiverr.com, like Freelancer.com, where you can enroll for your skills and people will give you projects. So a lot of ways are there for you to make money online. But it is not about making money online, Anita. You got to choose one thing, because ways are hundreds. Many of the people don't even believe that you can earn money online. It's just that because many people see in and around them that the only way to earn money is either to get a job or to start something of a tangible business. Internet or online still looks like a Hawa to most people. In fact, it used to look like a Hawa to me 6 years back as well. But once you start doing something, it gives you the confidence that these things can be done. I never thought that I will be selling products, I will be selling courses, I will be selling workshops online. Now, that is also online, right? How do I sell? Because I've learned it. So, Anita, I'm going to answer your question in two ways. Step one, figure out what actually is your interest. Figure out what actually is your interest and figure out if you can monetize that interest online. Second, whatever that your interest might be, you really need to work hard and you really need to understand how do you actually take it to the digital world. Because there are ways out there through which you can make money, but you got to push yourself to be able to figure out what you can do, and then you got to learn how to actually monetize it. So the ways are there, which I've told you in various ways. You can become a freelancer, affiliate marketing, digital marketing, your blogging, your online courses. There are hundreds of ways actually. But you got to choose one thing and you got to put in a time and an effort to learn about it. So that's the way that I'm going to tell you. There is no shortcut to making money anywhere in anything. There is no shortcut. So I hope I've answered your question to the best of my abilities that I can. If yes, mention yes, Anita. Let me take a question from Instagram. If there is a question from Instagram. How to overcome fear of this COVID-19 situation? Siddharth. How to overcome fear? Again, see, please understand, let's understand one thing. In fact, I start my webinars like this. Whenever I start my webinars like this. This COVID-19 has happened, which none of us thought 3 months back it's going to happen. This is a very extreme situation, this is a very unique situation. But I really believe one thing, since last couple of years, I actually have started believing this, that in our lives, everything happens for a reason. Every damn thing happens for a reason. We might not recognize at that point of time why it is happening to us. So when we go through challenges in our lives, we don't recognize that why it is happening to us, why it is happening only to me. But there is a reason for that. Have you not seen in your life, maybe something would have happened at one point of time, and later on you realize that the reason it happened because there was something better. So today, COVID-19 has happened, we got to accept it, we can't resist it. We can't resist it. If you are going through difficult times financially, maybe you're losing job, maybe your business is not going to scale, is not going to grow at a level that you wanted to. Change your business model. For example, let's take my example. As a coach, I always used to do live workshops, live seminars. Now, if somebody is of a victim mentality, they can always think that, you know what, mera to pura business thap ho gaya because of COVID-19. But if you have a mindset of solution, if you can focus on solution, you can change your business model. I took my entire business model online and I've come with various ways. In fact, this has actually helped me more as a businessman, as an entrepreneur, for me to reach out to so many people. Earlier, I used to do live workshops in one city, once a week, or let's say Saturday, Sunday, 2 cities in 1 week. Today, I am sitting here at the comfort of my home and I am reaching out to so many people, not only from across India, but from Australia, from New Zealand, from UAE, from Sri Lanka, because I have people in my webinars from these countries as well. So, any kind of a situation, be it COVID-19 or any kind of situation, it happens for a certain reason. We should not resist it. We should accept it. What is the fear? There is no fear for COVID-19. You got to protect yourself. What actually you got to protect yourself? You got to protect yourself from people. You got to not move out. You got to stay at home. You have to mingle with people. You got to be at home. You got to do your own thing. This is the best time to upgrade your skills. If you're a businessman, this is the best time to upgrade your skills. If you work in a job, this is the best time to spend your time with family. This is the best time to maybe able to take care of your health instead of eating so much of food sitting on your couches. Every damn thing happens for a reason. COVID-19, tomorrow there could be some other virus. Things will always happen in our lives and things will always happen not according to us. In fact, 50% of our life is never going to happen our way. Which means any kind of a situation it comes in your life, if your mindset is strong, if you know how to change your focus, then you can always focus on what can I take out best from this situation, including COVID-19. So the fear will always come if your focus is not on the solution. The fear will move away if your focus is on a solution and you accept that every damn thing happens for a reason. So I hope, Siddharth, I've answered your question. If yes, mention yes in the chat box. If yes, mention yes. One more question. Okay, just hold on. One more question from Instagram. I'm going to take it. I'm going to come to everyone. Jude Vinod is asking, how do you develop motivation? Vinod, there was a point in my life when I wanted to become a motivational speaker because I thought this was really cool. But later on I realized, and in a very short period of time, that you know what, motivation never really helps people. Motivation is always temporary, Jude. In fact, you don't need to come to an Instagram session of Ravneet Singh Chawla for you to be motivated. You can go to YouTube. You can read a lot of books. You can go through a lot of content out there on internet for you to be motivated. But motivation does not really last. So the question should not be how do you develop motivation. The question should be that how do you get yourself to become strong, mindset-wise, being mentally tough, for you to be able to make sure that if you start on something, you actually take it to the finish line. The reason you want to develop motivation or sustained motivation, because you want to achieve something. Yes or no, Jude? You want to achieve something. And for you to be able to achieve something on a permanent basis, it is not motivation which is going to help you, because motivation does not really last. You get motivated right now that, you know what, I'm going to go to the gym from Monday onwards. I'm going to do this from tomorrow onwards. But as soon as your motivation dies down, your goals, your dreams, your ambition also dies down. So it is not motivation that you should look at. You should look at a system, a way for you to become strong here, so that you are not getting into overthinking, you're not getting into laziness, you're not getting into procrastination. And that always going to come by taking charge of your mindset, by becoming mentally strong, because everything starts here. So the question should not be how to develop motivation. The question should be, how do I take charge of my emotional state? How do I take charge of my mental state? And that's the process that you need to learn. I hope I've answered your question, Jude. If yes, mention yes in the chat box. Okay, let me see some questions now on Facebook. If I'm answering your question, just mention yes in the chat box. Okay. So please talk on adrenaline fatigue after exercise. We get sometimes, and how to overcome with diet or seeds. So prana yoga question is, sometimes you get tired, sometimes you get fatigued when you do exercise. In fact, I got a question from one of the participants, Harpreet. Her name is Harpreet. I got a question on my email ID as well, and that question was similar, that she also is right now doing yoga workout. When she does yoga workout, after she is done with the workout, she feels a bit fatigued, she feels a bit tired, her muscles becomes a bit weak. So how do you overcome this fatigueness? How do you overcome this lethargic or becoming tired after a workout, be it yoga, be it something else? So in your case, I don't know what kind of workout that you're doing, prana yoga, but I will talk about Harpreet also, and I will talk about you. If you could tell me what kind of yoga that you, or what kind of workout that you do, then I can answer it better. For let's address first of all about yoga. Why do people get tired and fatigued after doing yoga? So there are various factors, and let's understand these factors one by one. The first factor regards to you becoming fatigued, you becoming tired after yoga, could be, understand that yoga is part of meditation. Yoga is part of meditation. Yoga is not, by the way, just to stretch your bodies. A lot of people think yoga is all about stretching your body, how flexible you are. No. There is a complete yogic system out there. This is a complete yogic system which talks about your inner well-being, essentially. But let's not go that way. Let's talk about the exercise part of it. When people do exercise of yoga, why do they become tired? The reason they become tired, because first of all, yoga includes breathing exercise. Whenever you're doing any kind of an asana, it involves a lot of breathing. First of all, today when we are actually being into this present state, are we really putting focus on our breathing? Right now I'm talking. Right now you are listening. Are you really putting focus on your breathing right now? Breathing is just happening. You're not even paying focus to it. There's no attention to it. But once you do yoga, once you do asana, there's a lot of attention goes in breathing. There's a lot of attention, focus goes in breathing. So when a lot of focus, attention goes to breathing while doing yoga, the attention focus which is required on your breathing takes a lot of toll from your body, because we are not used to it, which actually becomes a reason for people to become tired as well, because most of the times we don't pay attention to our breathing. So when you start paying attention to your breathing, when you start paying attention to the way your breathing is working when you're doing yoga, it makes your body take certain actions within, which allows it to become tired afterwards. Especially if you're not used to yoga. For people who are not used to yoga, what if you start doing yoga initially for a few days, even for 1 week, but you got to pay attention to your breathing. Once you pay attention to your breathing, it makes you tired very fast. Especially there are some asanas which is going to make you tired very, very fast. So one aspect of getting tired because of yoga exercises is because of your attention, your focus on breathing, which takes a lot of energy from the body. Another factors could be, I don't know anything about sleep quota, how much you are sleeping in a day. I don't know anything about your food habits, what kind of food that you're eating before you work out, what kind of food that you eat after the workout. So your food, your sleep, your stress levels, the way your emotional levels, all of this contributes in you being tired or not tired after any kind of workout, be it yoga, be it your strength conditioning, be it your calisthenics, be it any kind of workout. So there are a lot of factors gets involved. If you tend to get workout, you got to look at your sleep quota, how much you have been sleeping, how much your body actually needs the sleep, what kind of food that you're eating. Are you eating food which takes your energy to the next level, or are you eating food which takes your energy down? Are you eating food which are constructive foods for your body? Are you eating foods which are destructive foods for your body. So you need to have the right knowledge of the foods as well. So there are a lot of factors. If you get tired after a workout, for yoga, you got to look at what kind of breathing exercises that you have been doing. Are you doing your breathing rightly or not? If you do it rightly, maybe after a week you will not feel too much tired because your body is now used to it. So in yoga, people get tired easily because of attention and focus on your breathing, which is a huge part of yoga. So I hope I've answered the question of Harpreet. Prana, you need to mention what kind of workout that you do. I hope in my answer that I just gave, you would have also got your answer. Any other question? Manish Panikar is asking, I had a question but I got the answer from your answer to fear of failure question. So fantastic, take action. I have been listening to many people like you during the lockdown and usually get motivated during the session, but when I'm back to my own, I hardly put any action. Can you suggest how to overcome this mindset? So Manish, I think you are part of my online coaching program as well. You would have gone through 7 steps on how to master your mindset. You got to focus on the 7 steps which I taught in detail for you to be able to take charge of your mindset, because once you do that, you're going to be sustained. See, understand, taking charge of your mindset is not a one-off thing. Just like when you eat something, you're not going to think about that I'm going to eat everything today and I'm not going to eat for the rest of my life. It's a process that you got to keep continuing doing it. You don't brush your teeth once a day and then you expect your teeth to be perfect and fine for the rest of your life. It's a process. So all the steps that you have learned as part of Mindset Mastery coaching class, you got to keep implementing it. Once you do that, whichever results that you're looking at, it is going to be permanent. You're not going to come back to your by default state, come back to your by default state, come back to your by default state. So once you know how to tackle your mindset, and if you keep implementing it, there will come a time when you don't even have to think about the steps and it will happen automatically. But you got to do it constantly, just like when you learn any new thing in life. When you learn how to ride a car, you need to be conscious about where is the brake, where is the clutch, where is the steering, how do I need to focus on each of these. But after some point of time, it becomes subconscious. It becomes a part of your identity. It becomes natural. So once you reach to that stage, you don't have to think about the steps. It will happen automatically. But till that time, you got to implement those steps. I hope I've answered your question, Manish. Okay, so Prana, I have answered your question as well. Sir, same issue with me. Whenever I do exercises, I fall ill. I'll try it 2-3 times before I join your program. So Poonam, the reason you fall ill, or the reason you fall tired, or the reason anybody would fall ill, because our bodies are not used to it. So if you have to start working out, be it yoga, be it biking, be it cycling, be it swimming, be it any form of workout, your body needs to become used to it. And for your body to become used to it, your mind needs to become very strong. So take it one by one. If you have not worked out since last few months, since last few years, don't try to become so motivated, so inspired. I'm going to work out 5 days a week, 6 days a week. Don't do that. Take it slow. Allow yourself to create a new reference that, you know what, let me take 2 times a week. Let me do 2 times a week. Because आप जो बोलते हो अपने मुंह से और आप वो नहीं कर पाते हो ना, जोश जोश में बोलते बहुत दिया, नहीं कर पाए, you create a negative reference in your brain. It reduces your own confidence. It is a part of our identity. It reduces your identity and you start feeling that, you know what, if I say something, you don't have the confidence to do it. So start slow. Tell yourself, I'm going to do 2 times a week and do it. Because once you say something and you do it, it creates a positive reference in your brain. That's a part of conditioning, by the way, which is a very whole new different subject altogether. But I'm saying, if you are falling ill today, if you are feeling weak, you are feeling tired, start slow. Even if you have to follow a certain meal plan, certain nutrition plan, start slow. If you have to follow the meal plan for the entire week, take it 1 day at a time or take 1 meal at a time. For this particular week, I'm going to only focus on how to change my breakfast. Just breakfast, nothing else. Take it slow, because once you take it slow, it allows your body to become used to it and you get the confidence that I can do it. Once you get the confidence that I can do it, it allows you to create one more reference, one more reference, one more reference. So take it slow is what I'm going to tell you, Poonam. It's not easy to get rid of past baggage. Absolutely it is not easy. Is it impossible? Absolutely it is not. But if you tell yourself it is not easy, if you label yourself and if you keep telling this kind of a language to your brain, is it ever going to become easy? Absolutely not. Nothing is going to be easy if you're not learning the steps to do it. So I believe you're anyways now part of the program as well. For you to move away from past baggage, allow yourself to create one small reference in your life. For any damn thing, one small new reference in any part of your life. They were the point that I never used to think I could start a business. I never used to think I could do any business. But once I started doing it, I got small success, then a bigger success, then a bigger success, then a bigger success. Today, I can do anything. in entrepreneurship, not only coaching, in any damn business. I can do anything. How did that happen? I also had a past baggage that I could not do it because there was nobody in my family who could actually do it. We had a shop, but we had no other business apart from running a shop. And running a shop is actually not that it does not require for you to be able to actually implement a lot of strategies. And the way the business was run, which was in a traditional way, conventional way, there was nothing that was innovative. So I also had no past experience. In fact, my past conditioning was such that I always used to listen to people, used to listen to my colleagues when I used to work in corporate world, that doing business is tough, doing business is tough, doing business is tough. Even I had a past baggage. I could never do it. But once I start taking one smallest action, created a new reference, it allowed me to see that, you know what, things are possible. Just like anything else in life. So I hope you're going to work on that. And I hope I've answered your question. Harvinder is asking, okay, let me come to Instagram. I'll come to Harvinder, to you as well. Sir, give some tips or exercise for mental toughness. Sharan, you should attend my webinar. It happened today. Maybe it will happen this week as well. You should attend my webinar where I talk about how mental toughness is going to help you to succeed in 3 areas of your life: finances, health, and relationship. So attend the webinar, Sharan. That is what I'm going to suggest you. How to focus on present situation. Dilpreet, the question that you're asking is a very big question. How to focus on present. How to live in now. The power of now. How to live in now. How to live in present. It's a big question. First of all, it's not a small question. There is no one tip that I can give you. It takes years and years and years of practice for somebody to live in present. I am still trying to live in present. That's the reason I'm not teaching spirituality right now. I'm going to teach spirituality as well, apart from finance, health, and relationship as part of my program. There will be a 4th element, which is going to be spirituality. Maybe in next 6 months, maybe in next 1 year. I don't know. Maybe in 2 years. The reason I'm not teaching spirituality because I've also not come to a stage where I can also just live in the present. Just live. It's a huge thing. And for that to happen, you need to go very deep when it comes to meditation, when it comes to spiritual practices. And spiritual practices, meditation is just not to sit still. That's the reason I'm saying a lot of people have a lot of big myth about spirituality itself. Spirituality has a different mechanism altogether. In fact, we guys in India, we are the best possible position to understand spirituality. Because this is the land of spirituality. We should actually work on our inner self too much for us to get to a stage where we can live in the present. So Dilpreet, I'm very sorry. I will not be able to answer your question in a single tip because there is no tip like that. There is no tip. I'm not going to answer for the sake of answering. Living in the present takes a lot of years effort. It takes a lot of inner game. And that is something that even I am learning. So I hope that's the best possible answer that I can give it to you. Any advice on how to control spending and save more? So somebody by name MS Little, okay, whatever the Instagram handle is, any advice how to control spending? So how to control spending and save more? Ideally, you should not think about saving more. You should start thinking about earning more. Because we all have been taught about budgeting. I'm not against budgeting. I'm not against saving. But when we get into saving mode, when we get into budgeting mode, it does not allow us to think, how can we earn more money? How can we earn more money for us to be able to put ourselves into a situation to be able to spend more? The question should be, what skills that I need within myself for me to earn more money? Because that is what is going to help you to actually move towards financial freedom. Coming to the first part of your question, how to control spending. What you can do is, maybe make a list today. This is a step-by-step procedure I'm saying. Maybe make a list today. Keep a journal today. Okay, keep a journal for the next 3 months. Keep a journal where all money you're spending. Every single small money that you're spending. Even if you're going out and eating Golgappa, which you might not be able to do that right now because the lockdown is still there. Even if you spend 10 rupees on a Golgappa outside, make a note of it in your journal. It could be in a mobile notepad. Make a note of every single expense that you're incurring for the next 3 months, at least 3 months. I'm not saying cut down on something. I'm saying just make a note. Just keep a journal. Once you keep a journal for first month, second month, third month, after your 3 months, do this. Audit your journal. Audit your journal means just look at where all you have spent the money in last 3 months. And once you start auditing your journal, you will realize that, you know what? There are certain expenses that was not even required. It was unnecessary expenses. But because you're not aware of it, because you're not spending money consciously, is the reason this question is coming, how to be able to control spending. For you to control spending, you got to make a journal, because making a journal will make you audit something. You cannot control anything or you cannot change anything if you don't know what is happening. So for you to know what is happening, make a journal. Once you make a journal, audit your journal after 3 months, after 2 months. Look at all the unnecessary expenses, cut away all the unnecessary expenses, and then spend on the money, spend on things where you really want. So that's the best way for you to control your spending, to not spend on unnecessary things and spend on something which you really want. If I've answered your question, MS Little, whatever the handle is, mention yes in the chat box. Mention yes in the chat box. Okay, Harvinder, your tips for negotiation helped me to negotiate. Thank you. Thank you, Harvinder. Amazing to hear from you. If my tips have helped you. Mahinder, I have been working on pupil by pupil. Okay, people by people. Please explain more on it to understand more of it. So Mahinder is again my existing client, and he is a part of my lifetime program. He is associated with me for the lifetime now. He's asking this, but he actually knows the answers. But maybe he's asking this because he wants me to speak more on it, so that people also get to recognize this, which is a good part on his, and for me, for him to encourage me to talk about this more. So I always say this. Today, no matter what kind of a situation that you're in, or no matter what kind of a profession you are in, whether you are a coder today, you are an engineer, you are a coder, whether you're into operation, whether you're into sales, whether you're into marketing, whether you're into any kind of a job, whether you are a businessman, you are into real estate, you are into e-commerce, you are into affiliate marketing, you are into coaching, you are a spiritual guru, it doesn't matter. You are an actor, you are a sportsman. No matter who you are, everybody out there needs to create a personal brand for themselves in today's world. Everybody. Don't think that, you know what, मेरी तो एक छोटी सी दुकान है, मुझे क्या जरूरत है. ये जो सोच है ना, मेरी तो एक किराने की दुकान है, मुझे क्या जरूरत है, यही आपको मार देगी. क्योंकि किराने की दुकान अगर ये सोचेगा ना कि मुझे क्या जरूरत है, मेरा तो धंधा चल रहा है. That's the reason your dhanda is not improving, because people like Heiko, people like DMart, all of these supermarkets are coming and taking your business because they have created a brand for themselves and you have not. If you had a mindset to scale up a business, आपकी एक दुकान दो बनती, दो दुकान तीन बनती, तीन चार बनती, पर वो एक दुकान एक ही रह गई है because people are not thinking about making a personal brand out of themselves. Why personal branding is important in today's world? Because people buy people. People don't buy products and services. People actually buy people. Now when I say that, some of you might think, Ravneet, मैं तो brush खरीदने जा रहा हूँ, मैं तो toothpaste खरीदने जा रहा हूँ. I'm not buying people. I'm buying a toothbrush only in that case. Don't look at it from a micro perspective. Look at it from a macro perspective. I'll give you an example from my life. I think it's been many months right now, or maybe a year. I went to a Maple store one day, which is an Apple distributor. I went to a Maple store. I went there just to buy one thing. And I came out buying 4 things. First of all, it is not easy to be able to sell me something when I don't even need it. It is not easy. When I don't need it, I don't generally buy. But I went there inside the Maple store to buy one thing. I came out buying 4 things. You know why? I'll tell you why. The person who was attending me, the guy who was attending me there, he did not try to sell me any product. He did not try to sell me anything. He was just doing probing. Probing means he was just asking questions. And he was just trying to help. He was just trying to add value. He was just trying to be nice. He was just trying to be courteous. When he did all of these things, I knew what he was doing. Maybe he is aware of it or he is not. But I knew what he was doing, and I ended up buying 4 things which I did not even need it. The reason I bought it, because I just liked him as a person. So I thought, if he has paid so much of attention to me, if he has been so nice to me, I just should buy something which is just going to help him in his sales. I did that. I'm giving you one small example. People buy people. People don't buy products and services. Today, if you're working in sales, if you're working in IT, you might have a great product. You might have a great service. There are so many companies out there who have fantastic product, fantastic services. But still, they are not the market leader. Still, they don't have the market share. Why? Because the way they market themselves, the way they sell themselves is not aligning with the normal audience out there. Today, why do you pay so much for an Apple iPhone? Why do you pay so much for an Apple iPhone? Smartphones comes for even 5,000 rupees. But you pay a premium of 90,000 rupees, 95,000 rupees. Why? Because when you own an Apple iPhone, you're not owning a phone. You're owning a social status. Because Apple knows how to sell themselves. Apple knows how to sell themselves. They have created a personal brand. Today, If somebody is working with me, I know this. Anybody who is coming and working with me, having me as their coach, they are not buying my products. They are not buying my services. 99% people will say they are not buying my products. They are not buying my program. They are not buying courses. And I am saying this openly. They buy me. They don't buy my products. They don't buy my program. For most people, they are not even aware what they have bought. They buy me. Yes or no? For people who are right now on this Instagram or Facebook Live, if you are part of any of my coaching programs, if you are part of any of my coaching programs, tell me honestly, and people can read it, your comments right now. Have you bought my program or courses, or have you bought me? Tell me honestly, have you bought me or have you bought my programs or courses? Tell me honestly. Everyone. Mahinder is there, Harvinder is there, Poonam is there. Do you buy me or do you buy my programs and courses? Mention it right now. Mention it. Let me see some comments right now. Answer it jaldi so that I can move to the next question. Mahinder is there or not? I don't know. Poonam is there or not? Harvinder is there or not? Yes, true. Poonam is saying true. Poonam is part of my program. Nobody buy products and services, guys. People buy people. Look at it from a macro level. If today I'm taking an interview of somebody, this person might have a great skill, might have a fantastic resume, but if I don't like that person, I will not hire him or her. Today, whenever I hire people, I look at their character. I need to feel that I like this person. If I don't like this person, he might have a great resume. He might have all the skills. I will still not hire that person. People buy people. Get this straight in your head. When you are married to somebody, you have sold yourself to that person. Today, if you have friends in your life, you have sold yourself to that person. That's the reason they are your friend. People buy people. This is human psychology. And every one of us in our respective field, in our respective profession needs to get this point in our head. So I hope I have answered that question, Mahinder. Mahinder is saying buy Ravneet. You should actually say bought Ravneet. Right English you should use. Anyways. Okay, Sharon is asking one question. And it's a question that I'm willing to answer. I have no reservations in not answering any kind of a question. Although it is not related to mindset, it actually is related to mindset. So Sharon is asking, and there should not be any shame in it. And let me answer it. Sharon asking a question, how to get rid of masturbation. Okay. Now masturbation is very, very common, whether you're a man or you're a woman. The reason I say common, because it's a part of our physical biology. It's a part of our physical biology. If I talk about our ancient India, and let me talk about ancient India a bit. Have you noticed in our ancient India, even today, there are temples out there. It's a controversial topic, but I will still not talk about it because I don't have any kind of a fear. There are temples out there in India, okay? If you go and visit these temples, you will see naked murtis of men, of women in India, today or in the past. Yes or no? The reason it is there is a certain reason to it. It's on the periphery. It is never on the inside of a temple. It is on the periphery. So when we talk about masturbation, okay, first of all, the reason people become addicted to masturbation is because they have not anything else to focus upon sometimes. Or they become too consumed in it because it gives them certain pleasure. It gives them certain pleasure, just like alcohol, just like smoking, just like drugs. It takes you on a certain high. The point is, are you going to choose a high which is a destructive high? Are you going to choose a high which is a constructive high? When I say that, do I mean that you should not masturbate? I'm not saying that. But everything should be in limitation. हमारे माता पिता भी घर में बोलते थे जब हम बड़े हो रहे थे, हर चीज की अति खराब होती है. हर चीज की अति खराब होती है. अति में कुछ भी करोगे is bad. So if you have to engage yourself in self pleasure, you can do that because it's a part of our biology. We should not feel ashamed of it. But it should be in limited quantities. How to get rid of it? You got to involve yourself in constructive ways. Ask yourself, have an addiction for personal growth. Have an addiction for you improving your life in various ways. If you have an addiction for improving your life in various ways, whenever you feel a free time, ये कब होता है masturbation? Masturbation तब होता है, smoking तब होता है, alcohol तब होता है. Either we are stressed out, either we are anxious, either we are depressed, either we are free, we are bored out of our minds. We have nothing to do. When we have nothing to do, we involve ourselves in all of these activities, including eating a lot of food. Have you noticed why people sometimes eat a lot of food, overeat? Because when we have nothing to do, let's eat. When we have nothing to do, let's smoke. When we have nothing to do, let's do this. All of these addictions in our lives comes because we are not focusing on constructive ways of living our life, we are focusing on destructive ways. So the only way to get rid of masturbation or any kind of a destructive activity is to involve yourself into more constructive activities. Ask yourself what kind of a person I need to be, what kind of skills that I need to learn, how do I need to grow myself as a person on an everyday basis. Because if your focus, if your attention, if your time, if your effort is going on those things, you will not even think about masturbation. So I hope that answers your question in a short way. If yes, mention yes, Sharan Shetty. If yes, mention yes. Your value concept is priceless. Thanks. You changed the way I live my life in a positive way. Thank you, Harvinder, for saying this. Mahinder is saying thank you and love you, Ravneet. Thank you, Mahinder. I love you too. Any other question that you have? Any other question that you have? Any other question that you have? I hope I have not missed any questions. I'm just trying to look at various comments so that I have not missed any question. If you have any other question, please go ahead and ask. Anyways, it's time, almost time. It was till 8 o'clock. So if you have a question, please go ahead and ask. Else, I'm going to take your leave. I hope today's session has been fantastic for you. I have tried answering as many questions as it was possible for me to take this in 1 hour. I hope it has given some sort of value. I hope it has given some sort of insights. I hope you're going to implement on these answers. You're not just going to listen and feel good about it. You don't come to any kind of a learning environment or anything. Don't learn anything in life if you don't want to execute. Learning is useless. Execution is the game. Execution is the game. That's the reason I always say change your mindset, because execution starts here. Dominate your mindset. Become tough mentally. If you have any other question, please go ahead and ask. How many hours you sleep? As you mentioned, you woke up at 2:30 a.m. Okay, I don't know how come you know this. My clients know this. At 2:30 a.m. I wake up. Okay, how many hours you sleep? As you mentioned, you wake up at 2:30 a.m. So I sleep around 9:15 to 9:30. Okay, prana yoga. I sleep around 9:50 to 9:30. I get sleep by 9:45, 50 minutes. There was a time that I used to go to bed and I used to sleep. I used to take half an hour or 45 minutes or even 1 hour to get to sleep. But today I've improved my reducing the cycle of going to sleep actually. So I do certain activities with me. So I sleep by 9:50 to 9:30. I go to sleep by 9:45, which means till 2:30 it is what? 5 hours, 4.5 to 5 hours of sleep that I have. So yeah, 4.5 to 5 hours of sleep is what I have prana yoga. Sunil Nagmal is asking, sir, how to control imaginary life? So which means somewhere you're living in fantasies or somewhere you're thinking a lot. This should happen, that should happen. I should have got this much of money by now. I should have been at this place by now. I should have got this kind of a woman in my life. I should have got this kind of a health in my life. You're thinking so many things. So how to move out or how to control imaginary life? For you to control imaginary life, for you to be able to allow yourself to actually take an action, you just got to make sure that focus on one thing in your life right now. How to do that? Focus right now on today. When you're thinking about imaginary life, either you're thinking about future or you're thinking about what has happened in the past. Only two ways. Either you're worried about the past or you're thinking about the future. Most of the time when you think about imaginary life, you're trying to create something in the future. For you to be able to move out of the future, for you to be able to move away from the past, one thing that I spoke earlier about was living the present, which is a huge thing, which I also do not know how to live the present. But one thing that you can do, which I also do in the best way possible for myself, I try to just make sure that I'm focusing today on what are the things that I need to complete today. What are the outcomes that I need to complete today? How do I make sure my today's day is being utilized in a right way, is being productive? And when I say productive, it does not mean just work. A lot of people think about being productive means working, either for your career, for money, for business, something. No. Or even workout. No. Productive could be just you're sitting around and doing nothing. It could be productive. Why not? Why not? It could be productive. We have again a wrong notion about productivity also. That you know what, I can only be productive if I'm working on something which is related to career, business, money, health, ye wo. No. Today, when I sit and I do nothing, it is also productive because I choose to do that. I choose to do that. In fact, I really admire this person in India, and he's a different person altogether. His name, I am sure many of you would be aware of him. His name is Sadhguru. So Sadhguru ji always makes sure he lives in the present. Always make sure he lives in the present. First of all, he's an enlightened version. He's an enlightened human being. What does enlightenment means? Let's not talk about that. First of all, he does not even exist in physical reality. Now, I know some of the things that I'm saying maybe would go over the top. It would have gone over the top for me as well, a couple of years before, because I was also very, very practical, very, very logical guy. Everything which does not have a logic, everything which does not have practicality, I will not accept it, because that's the kind of human beings we have become. We are living in 2020. Everything needs to be logical. Everything needs to be practical. That's the reason most people believe in science. If there is nothing which is backed up by science, we don't accept it. Understand, science is only there because of human beings. And if you think, or I think, that human beings can know the existence completely, can know everything as part of this world, as part of solar system, as part of cosmos, we cannot do. We think of ourselves as too huge as human beings. So let's not go that way. Let me come back to the question. Try to just focus on today, Sunil. Try to just focus on today. Try to figure out what actually you need to do to make your day productive. And it could be in any way. If you focus on today, it allows you to pay attention to just today and not think about the future or not being worried about the past. So that's an answer that I'm going to give it to you. Deepna is saying you're lucky. I need 7 to 8 hours of sleep. Actually, I'm not lucky. I've worked upon it. So it has not come easy to me, but I've worked upon it for me to reduce my sleep quota. In fact, all of us does not need much sleep. If you are, as a human being, you're aware, if you're an adult, post 25 years of age, you don't need more than 4.5 to 5 hours of sleep. It's a wrong notion again, 8 hours of quality sleep. 8 hours, 8 hours, 8 hours. Again, it has come from the Western world. 8 hours, 8 hours, 8 hours. I don't know when I'm going to have many people from Western world, maybe America, Europe, as part of my coaching programs. Maybe they are going to hate me because I talk so much like that. But it's nothing to do, it's nothing to be against the Western world. It's just that we don't know the reality which exists in a real land, in this land. It's not that I'm too much patriotic, that's the reason I talk about India too much, or I talk about the local part of it where I'm born too much. No. If there is something which is good in A, B, C, I will talk about it. But sleep quota of 8 hours has also come from the outside, from the West. If you go back to ancient Indian system, if you go back to Ayurveda also, if you understand Ayurveda, you will realize that as a human being, as an adult human body, our body just needs 4.5 to 5 hours of sleep. Just need 4.5 to 5 hours of sleep. And I can prove it to you. Have there been times in your life when you have actually slept for 8 hours, slept for 9 hours, slept for 10 hours, but still you have woken up tired? Yes or no? Which means it is not about the quantity of sleep, it is about the quality of sleep. And for you to have the right quality of sleep, you got to have control over mindset. You got to be self-aware. You got to have more consciousness. You got to move away from all kinds of stress, all kinds of madness in your life. And that's where your inner game comes into the picture. That's where your inner game. So because I have been playing this inner game since last so many years of my life, I've taken charge of my sleep quota in being able to reduce it to 4.5 hours to 5 hours of sleep. In fact, I'm trying to reduce it to 3.5 hours. Because that's the real. And you might think it is too much. It is not too much. It is not too much. It is not too much. Because we believe this way. Again, conditioning. हजारों सालों से हमारे दिमाग में भर दिया गया ना. हजार साल मतलब जितनी भी आपकी एज है, इतने सालों से भर दिया गया ना कि 8 hours, 8 hours, 8 hours. तो हमें बिलीव करना तो जरूरी है, क्योंकि कंडीशनिंग ये सबने यही बोला है. अब सबने यही बोला है तो ठीक बात भी होगी. बट हमने कभी रियलिटी को जानने की कोशिश नहीं करी. So you as a human being, as an adult human being, you need 4.5 hours of sleep, whether you accept this or not. Thank you, Ravneet, for your inputs today. Love your company, bro. Thank you so much. Tulika, yes, it's true. Sandeep, thank you so much. Starting from 1st June, working to beyond growth through 10x. Please award some power punches to ensure in June 2020. One of my power punch, Mahinder, is this. Be relentless in being relentless. Be relentless in being relentless. In fact, my second book, which is going to be launched, printed book, which is going to be launched this year. My first book is launching next month. Mostly, because I've been trying to launch it since some time now. My first book is going to be launched, printed book, is going to be launched next month, which is called Mental Toughness is a Game That You Need to Master. My second book, which again is going to be launched this year, is going to be on, the topic is Be Relentless in Being Relentless. Relentless means you just don't give up. And you are a very shrewd guy. You're a person who just do not stop. And do not stop doesn't mean you're running a race around there. No. You're not running any race with anybody. You want to be the richest person. You want to be the greatest athlete. You want to be the greatest spiritual guru. You want to be the #1 mental toughness coach. No, there is no race. The only race that you have is with you. So being relentless in being relentless means there is no giving up attitude. You just do not know how to quit, and you're relentless in doing something over and over and over and over and over again. That's the reason you might see a lot of passion from me, a lot of energy from me, because that's the kind of work that I have put on myself over the last 10 years of my life for me to come to a position that I'm fortunate enough to teach some of these things to people out there. So Mahinder, be relentless in being relentless is the mantra. Deep Singh, that's awesome, fantastic. How do you stop thinking of inferiority complex? Radha Krishna. So this is the last question from Instagram, Radha Krishna. How to stop thinking of inferiority complex? In fact, I had this question from one of my clients recently, so let me just answer it very quickly. Radha Krishna, आराम से मेरी बात सुनना, बहुत ध्यान से सुनना. I am not expecting you to implement this immediately because everything takes time, right? I understand that. But listen to this very carefully. There was a time when I used to also compare my life with people. If you are aware of my teenage story, the way I've lived my life from the age of 10 till the age of 20, I always used to compare my life with my cousins. So let me not go back to my story, but I always used to see उनके पास गाड़ी है, उनके पास बाइक है, उनके पास ये है, उनके पास ये है. मुझे inferiority complex होता था all the time. I always used to compare my life. So inferiority complex comes when you're comparing your life with something or somebody. Yes or no? Inferior means you're feeling inferior to somebody else out there. Yes or no? Now, how to move away from comparison in your life? So listen to this carefully. First of all, understand this. All of us have come into this life as an individual. We all have our own journeys in our life. Somebody by name of Justin Bieber can achieve a lot of fame, can achieve a lot of money, can achieve a lot of success at the age of 16. Or somebody by name, let's say, you can hate me for that, or somebody by name, let's say Narendra Modi, can achieve a lot of fame, a lot of success, and he can become the top 5 person on the planet by the age of 67. Whereas Narendra Modi was not even known to normal people maybe just 20 years back. 20 years back, he was not even the chief minister of Gujarat. So which means till the age of 47, he was absolutely nobody. Understand? In the overall scheme of things, nobody was aware of him. Today, in just last 20 years, today at the age of 67, he is the top 5 powerful person on the planet. But we don't know what Narendra Modi was or wherever he was at the age of 16. Yes or no? Justin Bieber, we don't know where he would be at the age of 65 or 67. We don't know. What am I trying to say? All I'm trying to say is everybody is on their own journey. You can't compare your life basis age. You know what? मेरी आज ये एज है, मेरे पास इतना पैसा होना चाहिए था, मेरे कॉलेज के पास इतना पैसा है, मेरे बैचमेट्स जो मेरे एमबीए के बैचमेट्स है, जो मेरे इंजीनियरिंग के बैचमेट, उनके पास इतना पैसा है, मेरी पड़ोसियों के पास इतना अच्छा पति है, मेरे कजन के पास इतनी अच्छी बॉडी है. Everybody out there is having their own journey. Somebody can get graduated at the age of 22 and he will not get a job for the next 6 years. Somebody can get graduated at the age of 30, but he will get a job within 1 year. Somebody will become married at the age of 25 and he will not be able to conceive a child, or she will not be able to conceive a child, maybe for various reasons. Somebody will get married at the age of 38 and they can have a child within a year. So when you start comparing your life with somebody else, what you are not recognizing is everybody out there is on their own journey. If you today take charge of your life, and if you can get yourself to work hard consistently for the next 365 days of your life, and I'm telling you 365, just 365, ek saal, you will be at the 95% people in your area, in your domain, in your expertise. You know why? Because most people can never be consistent in their life. Because consistency starts with domination of mind, and most people will never get to dominate the mind. So if you can focus on your journey, wherever you feel that you are right now down in the dumps, you are way far behind, you will be ahead than 95% of people on the planet in the next 65 days. But you're not trying to be ahead than them. You're trying to just look at your journey. That's the first point. Look at your journey because everybody is on their own journey. Second point, for you to not get into comparison. When you get into comparison, the biggest limitation, the biggest drawback that you're doing to yourself is everyone out there is having their own limitations in their life. Every one of us has a certain limitation that we have in our own life. If you're comparing your life with, let's say, with somebody out there, when you compare your life with somebody, you create a benchmark, you create a limitation, which means if that person has created this benchmark and they have reached a certain limit, you have also reached that limit. After that, what? You will not be able to do something because always you have idolized your life basis somebody else. But when you compare your life with yourself, on an everyday basis, what it does is it allows you to be able to become better without any limitations, because there is no limit there. So there is no limit. Just hold on. I think Instagram has become paused. Just hold on, guys. Give me a sec. Okay, anyways, leave it. So what I would say is there is no limit when you compare your life with yourself. So the reason you got to compare your life with yourself, because first of all, understand that you are on your own journey and everybody else out there is having their own journey. You cannot compare your life. Second thing is, once you compare your life with somebody, you create limits for yourself. But if you compare your life with yourself, there are no limits. You're boundless, you're limitless. So if you get these 2 points, and another third point that I'm going to give it to you, if you compare your life with somebody and you feel inferior, what it does to you, the only thing it does to you is it creates unhappiness. It creates unhappiness because you're always feeling inferior and you become unhappy. When you're unhappy, ask yourself, do you take an action or do you become lazy? When you get into comparison mode all the time, you're unhappy, you don't take actions to change your life. You don't take actions to become better. You get into laziness, procrastination. So again, your inferiority complex, comparison is not allowing you to move to the next stage. But if you compare your life with yourself and there are no other comparisons, you are always into the solution mode. When you're into the solution mode, it allows you what you need to do for you to become better. What you need to do for you to become better. What you need to do for you to become better. So 3 answers. First, everybody out there is having their own journey. You can't compare. Second, when you get into comparison with somebody, you create limit. And if you have a limit, there is a certain path that you can there is a certain limit to which you can grow. You cannot grow beyond that. The third answer, when you compare, you become unhappy. When you become unhappy, you don't take an action. You get into stress, you get into laziness, you get into procrastination, and you cannot change your life. So for you to be able to move away from inferiority complex, even if you can just recognize these 3 aspects which are destructive, which are not constructive, it allows you to just chuck away everybody else out there, chuck away from complexes, chuck away from comparison and focus on yourself. Become so selfish that I'm just going to focus on myself. Become so selfish with yourself. So this is the answer to somebody on Instagram. The video has paused for some reason, but I hope I've answered the question. Maybe I'm going to put this Facebook live video also on Instagram. So if you don't have any other question and it's already 8:05, 8:10, I hope all of you had a fantastic session today. I had a fantastic session with all of you. If you had a fantastic session, mention this was fantastic in the chat box. Mention this was fantastic in the chat box. Mention this was fantastic, absolutely amazing. Whatever the phrases that you would want to come up with. Mention this was fantastic. Sir, keep in mind, I am Harpreet, who have joined your course. Everyone who's come and become a part of my mastermind committee, I take care of themselves. I take care of them, so don't worry about it. Mention fantastic, amazing, if this session was amazing for all of you guys. Fantastic, Harvinder. Thank you so much. Sometimes a person just compares with self-ideology, not anyone else. Most of the things does not go as per our plan after putting efforts for a very long time. Then in that case, what should be the thought process? So very quickly, Tulika, I think Tulika, you are part of my program as well. I'm going to answer your question in that. But even if you compare your life with yourself, I needed to be somewhere at some point of time. और मेरे हिसाब से मेरी लाइफ नहीं चल रही है. First of all, तुलिका, हमारे हिसाब से लाइफ कभी चलेगी नहीं. आपको क्या लगता है? आई एम द मेंटल टफनेस कोच, मेरे हिसाब से मेरी लाइफ चल रही है क्या? आपको क्या लगता है? वॉरेन बफेट के हिसाब से उसकी लाइफ चल रही है. आपको क्या लगता है? विराट कोहली के हिसाब से उसकी लाइफ चल रही है. In life, 50% of our plans will never go our way. It is never going to go our way. Whether you are the richest person on the planet, whether you are the successful athlete, whether you are anybody out there, it is never going to go our way. 50% of our life. The only difference between successful people and the others is when the life is not happening our way, do we have the right mindset to change our path? Do we have the right mindset to figure out another way of doing things? Right now, because of COVID-19, a lot of people had a lot of planning. Oh, I wanted my business to be this way. I wanted to apply for this job. I wanted this. I wanted that. Now, things have happened. If you have the strong mindset, if you have the right mental focus, you're always going to focus on a solution. Government of India also had a theory in their mind. Oh, you know what? I'm going to take my India to 7% GDP this particular financial year. Now, it is not going to happen. Either they can think about it, you know what, this was my plan, this was my plan, this was my plan, and it is not happening my way, or change your ways. Figure out what you can do best right now in this situation. I know it's not easy, but you can make it easy, right? If we think nothing is going to be easy, then nothing is going to be easy. You can always make it easy because once you were a child, if you were a child today, and और मैंने बात कही होती ना, adults क्वेश्चन पूछते हैं कि is it easy or is it difficult? कभी चाइल्ड क्वेश्चन नहीं पूछता, पता क्यों? क्योंकि चाइल्ड की कंडीशनिंग नहीं हो रखी होती है, चाइल्ड के अंदर लिमिटेशंस नहीं होती है, चाइल्ड के अंदर सोसाइटी का कचरा नहीं भर गया होता है. बिकॉज हमारे अंदर कंडीशनिंग इतनी हो रखी है, इज द रीजन वी थिंक इट इज ईजी और इट इज डिफिकल्ट. एवरीथिंग बिकम्स ईजी इफ यू लर्न टुवर्ड्स इट, if you make an effort towards it, it becomes easy. Every damn thing is easy. It is not some bullshit philosophical theory. Every damn thing is easy, especially for a guy like me. जहां से मैं आया हूं, you have no idea. You have no idea. और मैं क्यों अकेला बंदा आया हूं क्या? मेरे से पहले करोड़ों लोग आ चुके हैं, करोड़ों लोग कर चुके हैं, मेरे बाद भी करेंगे. तो कोई भी तोपची नहीं है इस दुनिया में. But we have to learn the ropes. We have to learn how to go within, how to take charge of our mindset. So Tulika, answering your question, your life is never going to happen your way. When it does not happen your way, you need to have a strong mindset to figure out what next, what next, what next, what next. Because that's the best you can do as a human being. Tulika, I hope I've answered your question, Tulika. Thank you so much for answering, also hand holding support. Thanks Maninder, love your comments and inputs. Fantastic. So on this note, for the very last time, at least bol to do, absolutely amazing. Kuch to bolo, fantastic to bolo, I'll take your leave. So just say if it was great for you, if you got some value out of this session, if you got some learning out of this session, mention yes, this was amazing, mention yes, this was fantastic, and I'm going to take your leave. Mention yes, this was amazing or fantastic, whatever it is. So I hope I have given answers to all the questions that all of you have had, and maybe we're going to have one more session like this sometime in the future. So on this note, I'll take your leave, and I love all of you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.